Normally I put my introduction in the beginning, my little splash page of the Curioventura logo, but I'm just going to try to get to the point from now on, so that's going to be the outro instead of the intro. But today you'll notice that I've got this resin conversion kit opened now and unboxed, and that is for the Barbatos Lupus Rex. If you'll notice as well, the audio is doo-doo right now, and that's because the first time I filmed this, yes that's right, I'm doing it a second time, my microphone died on me, and I had no idea that was the case until after I was done recording everything and I went to finally go and edit. So that kind of stunk, and now I'm doing this again. So there's no real unboxing or unbagging or any of that stuff. Unfortunately, that is out the window. But what I do have is all the parts already taken out of the box. I have the manual here, or I should say the parts checklist here, and all of my tools that I'm going to show you what I use in order to do an actual resin conversion. With that in mind, I'm going to do an overview right now of the tools. And the first thing is this Dremel Micro. Now this thing right here holds a decent charge for quite a while. It goes up to 28,000 RPM, which is a lot, and I've really never had to use that for any of the model kits that I do, especially sanding down resin parts. But this thing is pretty much vital, or any corded Dremel, really any kind of rotary tool, you definitely want to have if you're going to be doing a resin conversion kit, because there's a lot of sanding, a lot of grinding and prepping for some of these parts that come with these kits. Second up is some plastic tools here. Now, I got these from an auto parts store. I think it was like either Discount Auto or AutoZone or one of those places. But really what I use this for is, if I have a kit that's already built, like this right here, and I have to take it back apart in order to start doing the resin conversion kit, using sharp things could break the kit, could mess it up, could mar the finish. So what I use are plastic wedges and plastic tools. Yes, there are some dedicated ones specifically for doing this kind of work. These were cheap, these are what I have sitting around, and I can't find the other tools that I had, so these are a good alternative. Also too, you can use the tool that comes with the Dremel kit, as it's got a little tiny, looks like a flathead here. This works too, and I haven't had this break or damage any of the kits either while I've been taking them apart. You'll also need a pen to be able to do the checklist here of all the parts, which I'll show you in a minute. Something that is not necessary, but if you're really trying to do a detailed, all-out resin conversion build, a pair of digital calipers or regular calipers work wonders in making sure that you haven't over-sanded parts, or if there's anything from a symmetrical standpoint that you need to address, you can find that out really easily if things are symmetrical by using this. Another thing is a file and various sandpaper grits, anywhere up from 320 all the way up to 400. Works very good when it comes to prepping parts to paint, and it comes to taking care of imperfections inside the kit, seam lines, things like that.
Another thing you want to get to that I kind of forgot to mention beforehand, which is necessary, is a blade. It could be an X-Acto blade, it could be anything like that, but you need a sharp little hobby knife in order to be able to carve and trim off parts to some of these resin kits.
So again, what exactly does a resin kit do for you? Well, that's simple. It could take a kit like this and amplify it a bit more into something like this. I didn't build that kit, by the way. I don't know who did that, but that's basically the kit that I'm going to be doing this. So whoever built that, excellent job. Also too, they kind of just go on top of existing parts, or sometimes they just replace the parts altogether. So here is the weapon for the Lupus Rex here, and here's this gigantic sword part. This actually slides in and goes into it like that. So now you have an obscenely, ridiculously sized accessory that this thing can't hold, so you'll have to be creative in trying to find a way to get it to hold it. And then also my parts bin here that I had in one of my previous videos from the very beginning. You might want to check that out. This was, I think, purchased from Lowe's, and it's really for little nuts and bolts and things like that, but it works excellent when you're trying to sort out parts that are for Gundams or any other kind of model kits that are loaded to the gills with parts. I've labeled them all: right arm, left leg, head, chest, arms, all that kind of stuff. So it makes it easy when you're taking your kits apart. Organize them, sort them, and it ensures that you don't lose anything. Now I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer. So here's a little bit more of a close-up as to what I was talking about as far as this bin itself and how I sort all my parts out. Another thing to keep in mind is when doing the checklist, when you unbag one of these kits, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have all the parts, because on rare occasion,
some parts might actually be missing. I've had that happen before, and it's quite inconvenient. It takes forever to get replacement parts, and worst case scenario, you have to actually mold and recast a part yourself, and that's kind of no fun. So make sure you set all your parts out. Here I got a couple of these things, and basically all you do is just kind of match up where this went to and which part it is. This is GB5 times 2, which means you got 2 of these parts. So you check it off once you have them sorted out. And what I like to do to make my life easy so I'm not looking all over the place as I start checking these parts out more is once I have one of these rows already checked off, I just draw a line through it. So it makes it easier for my eyes not to have to keep going up here or here. I know that everything else I have is down here. Now, when you flip it over, this is how everything attaches, your instruction manual, so to speak. If you look up close, you'll see that some of these parts, and it even actually tells you the numbers for the part itself, these are the factory parts. Now this PC1 and C1, these things right here are what you'll see in the actual Bandai manual itself for this guy, so there's no confusion. But now if you look here, you've got your GD1, GD3, these are all your resin parts, and these are how they fit on top of the stock piece. And that's pretty much the same situation throughout the rest of these. And if you'll notice again how it's got them all numbered and labeled, you just go through here and you can find those parts that are numbered, labeled, just like you would see in the actual manual for this kit or any of the other Bandai kits. All these other parts here are the factory pieces from Bandai or whatever other company has the resin conversion kit for it. So you obviously are going to be reusing some parts, and in this case here in the shoulder, completely replacing parts altogether.
That is it for this week's video. I might actually do another upload. Well, no, considering the fact that I had to re-record this and who knows what day this is actually being uploaded this week, I might not have another video up this week. But next week, I'm going to be getting more in depth and showing you the actual process of fitting these parts, how to assemble everything, getting it to a state where you can paint it, and then the week afterward, we're going to start painting all this stuff and getting ourselves a finished resin conversion kit. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button, comment below and let me know what you want to see in future videos, share, and please by all means subscribe. It helps me greatly in building this channel. Have a good day and bye!